putting a cap on the draft here, right? Like
Yeah.
my 3 favorite overall picks of the draft, and they're all first rounders.
Okay.
And they're guys that didn't get a lot of attention because we spent so much time on Jador Sanders and the big trade with Travis Hunter. So I gave you Colston Loveland a few minutes ago. It's crazy. 2 of them are tight ends. But the second pick that I love the most is I love Ty Warren to the Colts because that's the only thing missing on that offense. People are sleeping on how good this offense is, mainly because, well, Anthony Richardson has issues and Daniel Jones is the other guy. But this is a team that, you have one of the best. You have a top 5 running back. You have 4 good wide receivers. That any of those guys would be 2s on. Even Alec Pierce would be a 2 on another team. You just needed a tight end, right? You had been trying to make it with Kylan Granson for a while and all this, and now you go out and get a guy who is an absolute target monster, who will be able to slide. He's a plug-and-play guy. Whoever winds up being the quarterback for the Colts long-term this year, it'll probably be Daniel Jones, is going to have a phenomenal year, and people are sleeping on this offense. That's the only thing that the Colts were missing, and they get Ty Warren, falls to them. I mean, the fact he's sitting there in the middle of the first round when he's a guy that was supposed to go in the top 5, top 7, there's no way the Colts thought they'd get him, and yet here they are. There was an incredible stroke of luck they got him, but I love that pick.
Well, it took your team actually doing something sensible for that to happen.
Yeah, sure.
Who knew? The Jets set up the Colts for success. Look, obviously, for Steichen and company, trying to figure out how to make the most of it. You're hopeful for a big step forward from Mitchell, who was a top draft pick for you last year. But you're right. You do have 3 other wide receivers who are quite good. Pittman Jr., when healthy, has been fantastic. And Alec Pierce, can take the top off of any defense. Big play threat. And that's even with the accuracy issues you had from Richardson. I don't know how much that's solved from Daniel Jones, but we've seen him work to some success, and you'll have some balance and definition with Taylor behind him. So certainly like that there. I liked Walter Nolan going to, because we had to get a guy.
Walter.
Exactly. If we talk Lebowski so much, we got to get a Walter in. And we talked about it with Jason La Canfora a little bit earlier, but the fact that the Cardinals just pushed heavy into the defense, again, trying to achieve balance and maybe take a little bit off the pressure for the offense for Kyler Murray to have to go out and outscore everybody like it's a video game. No pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
Pun fully intended. Every week. But to come back then with Will Johnson, who's the greatest. I'm just pushing all my bets to the center of the table, that if this works out right, because he was a top 5 to 7 guy.
Yeah.
Until you go through the medical evals and you have no idea how that's going to respond. If it responds appropriately, you now have a guy who's there for a decade, hits a bunch of Pro Bowls, and you look like geniuses in the second round. So I like that they pushed in and went gutsy on the defensive side twice.
And the last one, and this may be my favorite overall pick of the draft, just because of what this can do to a team that already is knocking on the door. But the Chargers getting Amari Hampton in the first round. This kid is incredibly good.
He hates you now.
I know. It's George
Frostberg just walked away from the microphone. He can't even be kept.
He's a house. He is a 3-down running back. The only thing he's not going to do is catch passes out of the backfield, but no big deal. This is the running back room that Jim Harbaugh wanted when he got the job. I got to get by with, hey, John, give me the 2 guys that can't stay healthy for you. But now you're talking about an Amari Hampton, Najee Harris backfield. The only thing I don't like is that, Justin Herbert in fantasy this year, he may only throw the ball about 8 times a game. But this is the sledgehammer running back system that he's wanted. This is the system he's wanted to bring from Michigan when he was winning, when he had 2 good running backs all the way through the last few years, where there's Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards that won a national championship for him. This is the running back room he wants, and Amari Hampton is a stud. I've seen him play a lot in the last few years at North Carolina. There's nothing the guy can't do. Both these guys will be fresh. Najee Harris is durable. You talk about the offensive move that is going to lift a team more when it gets to what they can do in the season and in the playoffs. This is it. This is a team that can run the ball and can just ram it down your throat for 60 minutes a game. And as time goes on, will one guy get more carries than the other? Sure. I'm sure they'll bring Amari Hampton on a little bit slower because Najee Harris is very durable. I say this and Harris is going to get hurt. Very durable. But when it comes time to the playoffs, it's going to be, how do you stop these guys? How do you stop this sledgehammer offense that the Chargers have? That's why I like this move the most out of all of them, because this is going to take the Chargers from knocking on the door to being a Super Bowl threat. That's how big an addition Amari Hampton is.
Yeah, I think when you look at last year, it was cobbled together, and they were very effective for long stretches of the season. And yes, the Justin Herbert over-under on yardage and everything is certainly a curiosity to watch as the season gets ready to go. You bring back Williams, whatever else. But, yeah, certainly you want to play balance, shorten games, right? You got a tough division that you're going to have to fight through, because the Raiders, while they may not push the envelope on the win total, I think they're still at 5.5 wins for the year. Mm-hmm. Tell me they're not going to be a much tougher out.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, of course.
Again, with balance, Geno is light years ahead of what they were throwing out there at quarterback. Not that he's a wizard, but that shows you what they've been dealing with, right? And add Ashton Genty to the process. But for the Chargers, this goes back to identity. So more Harbaugh billboards alongside the injury and accident attorneys here in Los Angeles, no question about it. I'll do you one favor. I'll do the return bout with Mason Taylor going to your Jets.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I like that. I like that pick, too. I like our draft.
But again, it goes back to we talked about the draft for outside of the couple of names, and we do a drive-by here with Genty. We talk about Cam Ward and Travis Hunter and a few other players, Shedeur Sanders certainly. But this is a draft that isn't about sexiness. This was a draft to stock your cupboards and get the goods, get the interiors, right? You're going to eventually get the good paint job for your car and make it all look shiny, but you need the guts have to be good. That's what this draft was to me for a lot of teams. That you're like, all right, what did they do? Well, they draft, it's a couple of linemen, it's a couple of defensive linemen. All right, it's a cornerback, but like nothing that stands out. But you're like, all right, this team got a lot better, or they should at least, the floor has been raised for them. And I think a lot of teams, that's always the goal. I think this was a draft that's how you would have characterized it going in, and certainly coming out very much the same way.
Well, one thing you got to see, Frostberg showed me the picture. Like, Jim Harbaugh is a big guy. Like, he's 6'3", goes about 215. Yeah. Frostberg showed me a picture of when he met Amari Hampton coming to Chargers facilities, and Harbaugh looks like he's 5'5". Like, Hampton is he's just huge. And it's not like he's 6'9". No, he's 6 foot. He goes about 225, 230, but it just looks like, well, Harbaugh looks like he would swallow his hand, and this is your running back. It's like that picture when they showed that picture of Derrick Henry next to Mark Ingram when they were on the field, and you're like, oh my goodness, Mark Ingram looks like he's 4 feet tall.
What, 7-8 inches?
Take a look at that picture. You see Amari Hampton.
What's funny is Jim Harbaugh, I mean, while he's not the same stature he was when he was guesting on Saved by the Bell as, Screech's cousin or whatever the tie was there, still a big man, and certainly great expectations for the Chargers here.